Well, welcome to Make Your Big Impact. I am your host, Angel Tuccy, also known as the Book Angel. This is the show for authors, speakers, and thought leaders who know their story isn't just meaningful, it's meant to move people, to create influence, and drive real results. And today's episode is one of my favorite formats because we're hosting a roundtable conversation with powerful voices who have each taken their message and turned it into impact in their own unique way. And they're about to share with you what happens when you step into visibility, authority, and leadership. Let me introduce today's panel. First, we have Debbie Williams. Debbie is a media professional, public speaker, host of the Debbie Williams Podcast. And you can find her at debbiewilliamspodcast.com. Through her work, Debbie combines powerful storytelling with thought-provoking conversations that challenge perspectives, encourage critical thinking, and inspire meaningful personal growth. Debbie, hello. Say hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to finally be in a room with you and be in a stage with you. We've been following each other for years. Next, we have Dinky Smith, aka Diana Smith. She is a podcast host, a storyteller, and an author who was able to turn a deep personal tragedy into an amazing purpose. Love having you back on the stage with me today. Dinky, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for being here. We also have Fatima Bey, the Mind Shifter, the host of the Mind Shift Power podcast and the Mind Shifter audio blog. She's known for building strong podcast systems, high standards for guests, and a website-first strategy that turns episodes into long-term media library. I love creating assets. She's also the creator of the Mind Shift Universe, a growing ecosystem designed around impact, not trends. Say hello, Fatima.
Hello.
Joining us as well is Regina Huber, Freedom First leadership coach, speaker, author, and CEO of Transform Your Performance. Hello, Regina.
Hi, Angel and everybody. I am delighted to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
I'm so excited you're here too. This is going to be so much fun. And rounding out our panelists today is Simon Krystman, who used to build businesses, but now he builds entrepreneurs. Don't you just love that tagline? He has over 35 years launching startups as a non-technical founder, and now he helps mid-career professionals validate their idea and help them find their first customers before they build. Simon, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, Angel. Very well, and really delighted to join this wonderful group.
I'm so excited you guys are all here. Now, this group was not curated by me. This was God, the universe, doing its beautiful thing of bringing wonderful people together. And it's always really fun when we have like seemingly non-connected industries, people from around the globe, how their story ends up weaving together throughout this beautiful podcast. So I'm Angel Tuccy. I am your host, the author of Authorlicity, where I help my clients create more impact with a podcast. A podcast guest microphone in one hand and a book in the other so that they can create more visibility and more media assets. And so this is my delight to bring you this incredible group of guests today. Before we dive in, I'm going to ask each of you, just tell us what you do. And then in one sentence, the project you're most excited about working on right now. And I'll go in a little bit of a reverse of how I introduced you. So Simon, I'm going to start with you. Tell our audience what you do and the project you're most excited about right now.
Yeah, well, what I do, Angel, is I help people launch businesses, or in particular, I actually help them become professional entrepreneurs. So it's all about a transition into entrepreneurship, and I'm really excited about a book I've just published actually in January to teach entrepreneurship. And what I'm very excited about is university entrepreneurship centres are now starting to take the book up as teaching material for their centers. So it's exciting times.
Yeah, it is for sure, right? Getting your book out there and having others want to pick it up and share it with their audience. No kidding. What's the name of the book?
It's called Expert Entrepreneur. And it really does what it says as such. It's trying to give expertise to people about how to become professional entrepreneurs.
I love it. And Simon, what's the best way for our audience to follow you and connect with you today?
Yeah, well, I mean, LinkedIn is obviously the easiest way to connect with me if you look me up on LinkedIn. But I work for a foundation called 12 Ronnies, 12 Ronnies, and on 12ronnies.com there's sort of all the information about what we do, and I'm sort of central to all of these activities. So LinkedIn for a direct connection, or if you want to find out more extensive things, then 12ronnies.com.
Got it. Got it. Well, fantastic. I'm excited. Yeah, go and pick up his book, Expert Entrepreneur. It's going to be a hit. I just know it. It already
I
is.
hope so.
It already is. All right. So now I'm going backwards, but now I don't remember like who I did right before you. So if I
I
mess
think
it
it
up,
was me.
it was you, Regina. Okay. All right, Regina, tell us what you do and then the project you're most excited about right now.
Yes, thank you so much for allowing me to do that. So I help bold, conscious, and freedom-loving and heart-centered leaders. That's my favorite thing to do, to create thriving lives. And if they have a team, also thriving teams. Sometimes leadership is about leading yourself. I think it always is actually about leading yourself first and then leading others, right? I have a podcast as well. It's the Rise to Lead podcast, and I have quite eclectic experience on 5 continents, which allows me to work with clients in 4 languages. I speak 5 but work in 4: coaching, speaking, training. And I also authored a couple of books. Now, I'm thinking about a third book, and that's something that I'm excited about, but that's just really still very much only on my mind.
Well, who knows, right? This might just get it flowing out of you like water. Regina, did you
Right.
say that you coach on 5 but speak on 4? Or was
I
it the other way
coach,
around?
no, so I work in 4 languages, but speak
But
five,
you speak 5.
five and a
Okay,
half.
got you. What languages? What languages?
So I work in German, of course, my native language, English, Spanish, and Portuguese, and I also speak French.
I mean, for all of us, for those, I mean, I'm sure you've heard the universal joke, right? What do you call somebody who speaks 3 languages? Trilingual, 2 languages, bilingual, 1 language, American, right? Like if they say that if you really want to increase your reach, share another language, and the world is your oyster. So Regina, congratulations. Um, how does our audience follow you and connect with you?
Yeah, my website is transformyourperformance.com. There's also a second website that focuses on the speaking only. It's reginahuber.com. And I'm most active on LinkedIn as far as social media is concerned, and on YouTube.
I know LinkedIn these days is really, I think it's had a resurgence of visibility of people really taking it seriously. It's hung in there, right? After all these years, after all the things that have come out, it's still in there and it's still hanging on. And I think I'm using it more often these days. So love that you guys have your LinkedIns. Fatima, welcome. Super excited to have you here. Tell our audience what you do and the project you're most excited about right now.
So I'm Fatima Bey, the mind shifter, as we previously said. And I'm a mind shift coach. And what that means, I'm not a life coach and I'm not a therapist. I live in the space in between. So I help to connect people with a better future by shifting their thinking. And take a very deep dive into it without actually going into therapy. So that's where I'm a little different. It's a new category that didn't exist before I was born. So, that's what I do. But since what we all have in common here is podcasting, I have 2 podcasts. One called Mind Shift Power Podcast, and the focus there is the only podcast in the entire planet that does what I do. So I'm a podcast that's focused on youth, teens, and young adults, and bridging the gap between adults and our youth on an international level. So someone in Uganda has just as much space in my universe as someone from England or the US. I really, truly do that. And I'm very passionate about it. Absolutely love it. And every conversation is mind shifting, or I just don't do it. And then the other podcast is called the Mindshifter Audio Blog, which is totally, completely different. It's adult centered. And the Mindshifter Audio Blog, what I do is I take my own articles and I write them. I have 60 something of them so far, and there's hundreds more to go, and I'm not exaggerating. And so what I do is I write articles that are mind shifting on different topics to shift your thinking or to make you think deeper about something. Sometimes they're often deep, sometimes they're sarcastic. So it depends on the topic. But what I do that's different is I don't just write, professional articles. I write them so that they're down to earth, and then I turn them into an audio experience. So I narrate them. I create and design all the artwork, all the music myself, and I put music behind them and create an audio experience. So there's nothing else like it that I asked AI. There's nothing else like it in the world right now.
I've never heard anything of that, right? I was going to ask you, like, do you share your articles on other platforms? Because we have the published voice. But then when you started talking about the audio blog, I'm like, oh, that's a whole nother level that is pretty interesting.
So I do write. I do write articles. I only recently started putting them on LinkedIn, but I actually write separate articles just for LinkedIn sometimes. And I enjoy doing that. I actually used to write for a magazine, and I kind of forget that I did that, but until we bring it up. But I really enjoy deep thought, but try to put it in a way that people can relate to and it's not boring. So as far as where people can find me, you can see my name on the screen, fatimabey.com. Real simple. You can find everything there, and I am on every single major platform. As far as social media goes, you can find that at the bottom of every page, right in the footer. There are direct links to all of my platforms.
Yeah, and we'll put all the show notes in the links as well, or the links in the show notes as well. But for those that are listening audibly, right, this is fantastic. Thank you. Well, super excited you're here, rounding up our beautiful panelists today. Dinky Smith, hey, good to see you, lady.
Hi, good to see you.
It's been a minute. Tell our audience what you're up to these days and the project you're most excited about.
Well, I want to start with the project that I'm most excited about first, and then I'll get into the rest of it. I am creating a Roku channel for mental health only. I have podcasters from around the world that are experienced content creators. They share their stories. They also have lived experiences such as drug addiction, narcissism, homelessness, anything that you can think of, veterans. And I want to expand this to have not just mental health concern, but mental health creativity opportunities for them to learn things like farming, house cleaning, learning how to declutter, learning how to work with their children, learning how to have better relationships. And I am doing this because my youngest daughter was killed by a drunk driver on my birthday in 2011. And she was a single mom. My husband and I finished raising her daughter, who had already lost her dad, so she became an orphan on my birthday. And I didn't know how to tell my story because I was journaling and then trying to podcast and trying to do everything all at the same time. And I could not find a way to tell my story. So I have actually written a fantasy novel that is going to turn into a trilogy. And it is a really amazing book. It's taken me, a very long time to put this together. And I have, I don't know if you can see this. Let me take
I can see the coffee mug with an eyeball it almost looks like inside of a mouth, like lips with an eyeball.
So you can see it right behind me too. That's my logo. It's called, this is actually the color of the iris is what my daughter's eye color was. And the eye actually represents my granddaughter's vision of seeing what was going on and couldn't explain, anything. And the lips are her lips that are the words that she couldn't say. So I am creating something for the world to help with mental health. And my specific topic in the MTE TV, as you can see on my name label there, it stands for My Talking Eye. That is my podcast on MTE TV, which stands for Mental Therapy Experience. And it took me a long time to come up with something for another MTE. But this is my Roku channel. I'm hoping to launch it on May 14th, which is my birthday, and it'll be 15 years. And 3 years ago, on Mother's Day, it was my birthday. So I celebrated my birthday at the cemetery with my granddaughter.
Oh my gosh. Well, Dinky, thanks so much for being here and for sharing that and for inspiring others to turn their tragedy, right, into something so big in the world, how you're showing up in a really big way. So thanks for being here.
Well, we all need a voice, and sometimes, like with my MTE TV, it's a collection of voices. So it's not just a single voice, it's a wide collection, and it's going to expand to probably 180 categories by the time I'm done.
You go. I love it. I love it. Debbie, how about you? Tell us what you do and the project you're most excited about right now.
Yeah, so very similar to Dinky and to Fatima, because I help people find their voice and to share their stories. And storytelling is very close to my heart. I strongly believe that everyone has a story that someone else wants to or needs to hear. And if that story helps at least even one person, and it's a story worth sharing. So that's really important for me. And whether it's a personal story or whether it's for a business presentation or what have you. So so storytelling is my speciality. And in terms of what I'm working on next, I'm preparing for season 10 of my podcast, which is going to be coming up soon. So yes.
Wow. You've stuck with it. Season 10. Way to go. Congratulations, Debbie.
Thank you.
Oh, all right. And how do people find you?
You can find me, again, like everyone else, on LinkedIn or directly from my website, which is debbiewilliamspodcast.com.
debbiewilliamspodcast.com. I love it. Well, congratulations on all the great success that you guys are seeing. And it's always fun to have an exciting project that we're looking forward to. It kind of keeps us out of out of our heads, right? And in the doing and in results, and stepping up and taking action is really where we get out of our own way. But what I want to learn from each of you, I know you've all gone through some struggles and some trials throughout it. And of course, Dinky, you just shared, and I'll probably start this with you, but in part of your journey, was there ever a time that almost stopped you from showing up in the way that you're showing up now? Ever maybe you wanted to throw in the towel during those 10 years, Debbie? Like, was there ever a time that almost stopped you from showing up? And then how did you push through? And Dinky, I'm going to start with you because that was pretty traumatic. And on anniversaries that should have been, a birthday, something you celebrate. How did you push through that?
Well, I can tell you, I went through my personal grief for 7 years because I could not face the fact that I lost a daughter. It was my youngest daughter, and we had gone through everything. We were like soulmates, and I could have given up, but I didn't want to end what I was, because my granddaughter had already lost her mother. What would it feel like to lose her grandmother? So I chose to keep persevering despite the fact that it was really painful for a long time. And it's only been like the last 3 or 4 years that I have really dug in, and I found my purpose, and that's to share my podcast, which I'm still recording. And I keep taking it down and putting it back up and coming up with all kinds of things. But I've done a lot of interviews with a lot of different people from all walks of life. And I can see that they too have struggled. And it's hard to take a struggle and turn it into something that's not just from an experience, but it comes from your heart. And the mission and the vision and the goal is all about the rest of your life.
Mm. Oh, mic drop, right? Oh, how about you, Debbie? Ever wanted to throw in the towel and kind of give it all up and walk away?
When I first started off, I had imposter syndrome because I just thought, who is going to listen to me? And even prior to that, I had every excuse not to do it. You name it, I had that excuse, down to there's an elephant in the street that got in the way. But I just think that when I ran out of excuses, I started the podcast. And I think it's very easy to think, oh no, there has to be a perfect time to do it. I have to be 100% ready. There's never a perfect time. You're never going to be 100% ready. You're never going to like the sound of your voice, but you get used to hearing your voice. I remember the first time, it was the first episode that I recorded, and I immediately thought, oh my gosh, I sound like that. I'm inflicting that voice on the world. And then the second thing that happened was that, so I do a lot of public speaking, and I thought, I've got loads of material. I've spoken loads of times. And after the second episode, I thought, what have I been speaking about? Because I haven't got any material whatsoever. And the first season, I was sharing my own personal stories. I didn't have guests for the first season. And I was very annoying to my daughter. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm releasing episodes weekly. What am I going to talk about next week? I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And sometimes those ideas came at the 11th hour, literally, and I'd find something to talk about. And I realized from that experience that you don't need these urethra subjects to talk about. Sometimes the simplest of subjects actually generates the most listeners. There was one episode where I described going to the shop during lockdown, for example, and that experience. And it was just a simple episode, but it got loads of downloads. And I just thought, wow. And so for others who, for friends or everyone else who have gone on to create podcasts, I've always said to them, you know what, keep it simple. You're never going to be ready. Just literally start off small. Don't go buying loads of different big equipments and this, that, and the other. Just have a laptop, a microphone, see how it goes for the first few months. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, then you haven't wasted too much money or time.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it, right? We can always change. We are not trees. We can move, but at least put some effort into that and to show up for it. I think that's going to inspire so many people in our audience today, Debbie. All right, Fatima, how about you? Was there ever a time that something came along and almost stopped you from showing up at the level you're at now?
Actually, no. And I'll tell you why. I started off with a mission in mind. So I'm a very determined person. Anybody who knows me will tell you I'm one of the most hard-headed people you ever met. But in a good way, in this way. I'm on a mission. I'm not done yet. So I'll be done when I'm done. But that doesn't mean that I haven't had moments of discouragement. It doesn't mean that I haven't had moments of the bridge that leads to giving up. It doesn't mean that I haven't been on that bridge. It just means that I am so determined and focused that giving up is not an option. That's a silly idea to me. What? What are you talking about? That's how I think. At least when it comes to this. Now, I was doing lives last year, and they were getting really good. But I was also doing seminar level teaching for free, and I eventually had to give that up because there was too much on my plate. I had a lot going on, so I decided to give that up instead of the podcast because that had started off with a greater vision. And deeper meaning. And what keeps me going with that isn't just I'm an international podcaster all over the world. I've gotten, a lot of recognition for it, but that's not what gets me going. Like, I don't care about that stuff as much. What I care about are the messages that I get. This touched me. I had an episode where I talked about my own personal experience, for example, my own personal life, part of my life story. And it was the first time I was being public with it, which was a really big deal for me. I told the story out loud, unapologetically, and very raw. And it was about how domestic violence affected me and my family, and not the way you think either. The messages that I got from that, the effect that it had on people, that just encouraged me to keep going. I don't care if I only affect one person per episode. I'm at 127, I think, right now, episodes. That's 127 people affected. I'm good with that. So what keeps me going is the determination of who I am reaching, not who I'm impressing. I really don't care who I'm impressing. What I care about is impact. So for me, the mission is deeper and more important than just, being famous or being seen. To me, the platform is a tool for reaching, not just something to pet my ego and or to promote my coaching or promote myself. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not enough for me. That's not enough for me to move. So for me, it's the motivation that keeps me from even considering quitting. But I also want to note, Debbie, I did like this to you, but girl, 10 years, 10 seasons. Well, I don't know if it's 10 years or if it's 5 years, but 10 seasons, period. That's something I aspire to. I hope that I'm still doing this, or that I've turned it into something bigger. But that, I think, is worth noting, and I applaud you for that, because that's hard. That's hard. So kudos to you for that.
Right. These are, yeah, all of you have kind of been through some fire, right? But you're coming out the other side. And I love that you're like being pulled by that mission that is inside of you. When when you're on, what is it? MVP, mission, vision, and purpose, right? When you know that, it pulls you on those, across the bridge, right? Through those times that when those challenges come up. And it's not that we won't go through storms, right? But because we will, and that's life. But don't give up, right? Come out the other side. I always say, if it's not, it'll all be okay in the end. So if it's not okay, it's not the end, right? Well, let's keep going and move through it. And kudos to all of you. Regina, how about you? Is there ever something that almost stopped you?
Yeah, there was actually quite a dramatic moment as well, different to the other people's experiences here in Brazil, when I was dealing with a fraudulent business partner in a brick and mortar business. And I made a very conscious decision that this had to be the end at some point, because that was really important. So I don't want to really talk about that too much, though. That was after that Brazil experience, I moved to New York City, and that's when I started creating my current business. And then in 2020, that would really have been the 1 year where I had created the most speaking and traveling opportunities ever in that business, like ever. So I just had come back to New York City from a month in Rwanda, a month in Uganda. I was going to go back to Rwanda end of March to speak at the convention center. I was going to go I had just signed a letter of intent in Uganda with the Leadership Institute for long-term collaboration. I was going to go back to South Africa. I was going to go to Kenya, Nigeria, which was another project I had just signed, and there was more to come there. And, Hawaii, London, and of course also New York City on 9th of March. The first one was canceled at a bank, and then Kansas City and whatnot. And I probably forgot a few, and Hawaii. Yeah, did I say Hawaii? I don't know, but I was excited about that too. And that really stopped me in the tracks a little bit. So that was in March 2020, right? Just after my birthday. And I had actually given up, and this was like amazing in all this mess, my apartment in August 2019, because I was literally traveling the rest of the year of 2019 with a short break in New York City. So I said, okay, I just, it doesn't make sense. So I was going to look for something again, but it didn't get to it because when the lockdown came, I did not want to do the lockdown. I'm a freedom loving person. I saw what was behind it. I didn't see through all of it yet, but I had sort of a glimpse of it. And so I said, okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm out of here. I went to Mexico. I was doing a little bit of a nomadic phase again and all of that. Then eventually, I even went back home for a few months, which I hadn't been in Germany for such a long time. Like wherever I could travel without any weird requirements, I traveled to. So I was back home for like 5 or 6 months too, which was sort of different to me because I had been abroad like since I was 26. Since I was 26, actually. I was back a couple of years at some point, but anyway, and mostly on other continents. So that was really, a weird moment, and I was frankly very disappointed. Although I knew I wasn't the only one that was in that situation, because I really had a business that thrived on in-person connection. So I got also not only was this what I loved the most? It was also, what I got business from usually. Like it was my lead gen tool. So sometimes the speaking was paid, but at other times it was just purely a lead gen tool. And it was the in-person networking. There was a lot of that before the lockdown in New York City, and then also those speaking opportunities. And suddenly all of that
It's gone.
had disappeared, and with it, the foundation of my business. So it really shook me up. But, and then I started experimenting a lot. Not everything worked out right away. And there's some things that are still not working ideally. And I want to go back to more in-person speaking and all of that. But I did create my podcast eventually also, and I did more YouTube. And and that's another thing that I'm excited about. Actually, I do have a new idea also for just doing something a little bit different on YouTube, which I'm going to kick off soon.
She's going to kick off soon. I think this is one of my favorite thing about being around entrepreneurs is we get ideas and we run with them, right? Like we don't have to go through a whole lot of corporate stuff, right? To even just try the ideas and kind of like Debbie, like, well, that's what I sound like. That's what that looks like. Okay, I'm really not proud of that, but we keep going and we tweak it and it comes in with multi versions of it. But we are so creative. Like we're so creative, and we sometimes it monetizes, sometimes it doesn't, but never stops us from being creative. So
Yeah, as others have said in this round already, it's also about the impact. So even if it doesn't monetize, as long as somebody has something from it, some benefit from it, it's also worth it.
oh, I know. I save like screenshots of. I know some people save the screenshots of like the critical stuff, right? And to make a like just to remind you, like you've got haters. But I do save like Angel, you're an answer to prayer. Angel, you're exactly what I needed. I needed to hear that today. Like, I'm
Yeah.
so glad I found you. Like, I save those because there are days that I need to read those.
Yes, I have a folder for those too.
Yeah.
And you know what, Angel and everybody, at the end, all those experiences, they're just really experiences, and they enrich us, and whatever it is, right? I call it all experiences or situations now, not, oh, this disaster or this whatever. I know when we're in the midst of it, it's tough. And in the end, we're here to make those experiences and to grow through them. And that's also why I put some of those adventures and experiences, and I've lived some crazy adventures too, which are quite unique. I put those into my book, Living My Freaking Amazing Life, which it has been a freaking amazing life, even though there have been a lot of challenges.
Amen. Right? Yeah. It doesn't mean it was perfect, but it's still freaking amazing. I love that, Regina. Let's get to Simon. Simon, was there ever something that would have taken you off course or off the plan and the success journey you're on now that you almost threw in the towel?
Well, we're all entrepreneurs here, so you'll appreciate how busy we are with what we're doing, with starting our businesses, growing our businesses, and fully involved. And because that's what I've basically always done all my life is start businesses, I've been just so involved and busy and starting things and concentrating on myself, trying to make money, trying to sort of just grow my own businesses and my own life, that I'd never really had the opportunity to help others as such. So my limitation was really, I wanted to help others, but I didn't have the time, the space, or the money to do it. So really, my event wasn't traumatic. It was the opposite to that. I'd had a business exit that gave me some time and some runway money to do the things that I could choose to do. And I very much went on to the philanthropic route. How can I help people? What can I do to make an impact? So everything I've been doing since that business exit is been around that, and as well as general help, it's really my focus has been, how can I get or help other people become entrepreneurs to enjoy some of the life that I've enjoyed through starting businesses and growing businesses. So mine hasn't come through trauma as such. It was having the time, the space, the money to be able to do what I wanted. So that's the position I've been in lately, is to be able to have a mission with impact that helps other people. But my event, if you like, was an actual business sale that gave me that opportunity, and it's a marvelous thing to be able to do entrepreneurship anyway. All you ladies you'll know that you're all involved in your own businesses, and Fatima, very much with what I'm doing at the moment is helping people, and particularly people that are career professionals, make a big mind shift into entrepreneurship. It's a very different mindset being an entrepreneur than being a paid employee.
Oh, no doubt.
And
No doubt.
so,
Yes.
and everybody will sort of appreciate that
Right.
here. So that's sort of been my journey into what I'm doing now, and it was more having the time and space to have this mission for impact.
Well, congratulations on creating something that somebody wanted to buy, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that's, kind of the dream, right? Part of the exit strategy is that we create something that somebody else would want to own. All right. So I've just been so enthralled by your stories. I've been a terrible host when it comes to managing our time. We are coming down to the end of our time together, so we need to wrap this up. But I want to ask you one more question, and that is, if somebody listening is really wanting to take that next step out of your business playbook, the one move when somebody comes to you and you're like, you need to do this, I want you to share what that move would be. And then if you have a free gift, or if you have something that you want to give away, or a URL or an opt-in, I want you to be able to give that away as well. But if you could briefly share, what would be that next move in your business playbook, Simon, that you would recommend, that if somebody came to work with you, that you recommend they do?
Okay, so for me, it's actually quite simple as when people start businesses. At the moment, most people build something and then try and sell it. What they should do is sell before they build. Don't build something you don't know whether people want it. So sell before you build. So if you're putting on courses, if you're doing coaching, make sure that there's an audience, there's a customer base before you go and create your service or your product. So that's
I love that.
that's my
Yes.
picture.
Yes. Sell it first and
Sell
before,
sell
right?
before you
Yes.
build.
That is brilliant. Simon, do you have I know we've got your LinkedIn. I know we've got 12runnies.com. Is there a gift or anything else you wanted to share with the audience today?
Well, it's more, it's on the 12runnies, on the 12runnies.com. We have a free community. You'll be able to see that on the website. There's a button on the website which has a free community. Just click on there, join a community. It's founders and mentors, so you can find mentors, coaches, all for free. We're out. It's a community to help people start businesses, and that's the free gift to people.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us today. This has been just inspiring for me, and hopefully for all of you as well, and that you'll continue to connect with each other, because I think there's really cool synergy here. Debbie, how about you? If somebody wanted to make a bigger impact, right, and they came to you, what is a page out of your business playbook you would recommend? And then if you have a free gift, you can give that as well.
Yeah, I just want to endorse what Simon just said because I'm also from a sales background, so that most definitely. And I would add to it is understand your why. Why are you doing what you are doing? And do it unapologetically as well. You know, it doesn't matter if you don't get it right first time, but I would just, be brave, push forward, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a business, whatever it is, don't be a shy watering flower because you're afraid of other people's opinions. It doesn't matter whether you fail or whether you're successful. People are going to judge you anyway, so you may as well just go ahead and do it.
Awesome. Awesome, Debbie. And what did I have here? Debbie Williams podcast.com. Is that correct?
That is correct. And that's where you can find me. If you want to be a guest, then check out the podcast and get in touch.
I love that. I love that. Dinky Smith, how about you? Somebody wanting to make a bigger impact and they came to you. What would be something you recommend?
Well, first off, it would be to join my MTE TV channel as an experienced show host, content creator, mental health advocate, to allow them to expand their voice, because Roku actually has 440 million households that they visit every day. And I'm taking my channel on May 14th, which is my birthday, my launch. And we're going to go big. And I'm looking for more creators to actually host their own shows to allow them the opportunity to grow. And as far as imposter syndrome, if your mission is really sincere, you might feel a little bit of that. But after a while, that gets flushed down the toilet. And I mean, literally, because you are so focused on your mission. You don't even think about being an imposter, because if you've got a voice, you can be heard.
Amen. Amen. Thanks so much, Dinky. How about you, Regina? Somebody came to you. What is a page out of your business playbook you would recommend?
Yeah, and I just quickly wanted to piggyback on what Dinky said. So I used to have a Roku show as part of a bigger project of several women, and it was so much fun. So if you if you want to join her in that project, I think it's a really awesome thing to do. So coming back to your question, Angel, I would say find your true inner power, find your essence, and live and create from that. Because it's really worth taking a deep dive into what you truly want, what lights you up, what you desire, what you're all about, what your essence really is. We don't think it or reflect enough on that sometimes. And then also one thing I do every single morning is connect with possibility. My favorite question in the morning is, what else is possible today? And I do that every single day. Wow. And my gift for you is a create your freaking amazing life template. It's a start, it's maybe not going to create your all your freaking amazing life at once, but it's a start, something to just use to get excited about it. And
I love the words, there's energy in that, right? I just want to have a freaking amazing life. Like there's just such good energy in that. I love that.
Yeah, going from freaking out to freaking amazing, right? Sometimes
in the same minute.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're gonna post that link, Angel, so thank you for that.
Yep, I will post the links in the show notes for all of us. Let's see, who did I miss? Fatima. Let's take a page out of your business playbook, right? Our mind shifter. Right?
As far as where
what would you recommend if somebody came to you and they're like, I'm struggling, and you're like, let me tell you what I recommend.
Well, I'm going to answer that a little bit backwards and talk about the free offer first, because it's relevant. So what I offer are 30-minute free consultations. If you go to FatimaBey.com, go to my mind shift coaching page, there's a link right there where you can just set up a 30-minute free consultation with me and make sure that I can help you with what your needs are. So there's certain things that I focus on, such as balance. That's that's a big one. And helping to build confidence is actually my favorite thing to do. From 14-year-old boy to 70-year-old woman. And yes, I've done both. And everybody in between, helping people to build confidence and knowing who they are, not just in a fluffy, feel good, everybody's great kind of way, but being real specific with what makes you great and why you should be confident and what you need to work on so you can get confident in that. I'm really honest. And I like to do the 30-minute consultation because I like being able to hear people's stories and find out what they need, and also finding out whether or not I can help you. I'm really honest. So having that conversation is exciting to me because then I can see who I can help, or maybe I can't help you and I'll make another recommendation because, like I said, I'm really honest. So that's what I like to start with people is a free 30-minute consultation, and then we can take it from there.
And they can find that at fatimabey.com, correct?
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of this really powerful story today and for just being willing to share really just honest, truthfully, from the heart, from your soul. You really are making an impact, right? And I do believe that more than one person, right, from every episode is impacted, right? Sometimes telling our story, it doesn't just change our lives, right? It changes the lives of those who hear it. And so to my audience, if something somewhere today resonated with you, share this, tag them, let them know that they made a difference and that you're glad that they showed up for you. And if you are an author, a speaker, or a thought leader ready to turn your story into influence, leads, and real momentum, make sure you are subscribed to the Make Your Big Impact podcast so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you are looking for more visibility, authority, and opportunity for exposure, grab my Visibility Before Breakfast blueprint at visibilitybeforebreakfast.com. And until next time, remember, your story isn't just powerful, it's meant to make an impact. I'm Angel Tuccy. I'll see you soon. Cheers.